All right, we're back. I had to restart my computer right when I started the stream because for some reason Blender was not letting me do my work. Don't ask me why. So, I hope it works now. Let's find out. And let me turn all this jibber jabber on. All right, let's turn on the server. All right. Let this turn green. Like every time I try to stream, like I have all these issues, man. It's like I really want to stream, but the streaming gods don't want me to stream. I don't know, or they're just making it tough for me. Anyways, let's fire up Blender. Ah, man, dude, I had a nice little mojo going. Now we got 30 minutes exactly. We had 35. We had 40 minutes. Now it's down to 35 and we haven't even started yet. All right. I'm going to go into video editing. All right. And I'm going to go first thing first. I'm going to bring 1080 by... Actually, no. I'm going to leave them 19 by 20. 19 by 20. I'll show you a little trick. 1920 by 1080. All right. Let me redo the intro again for those of you who are just joining in. Because you're like, what the heck's this? Like, why? Because I was getting ready to stream and I had everything set up and just hit record, and then Blender kept crashing. Like, it wouldn't let me play video. It wouldn't let me load the video. This is what we're going to make. I'm going to track this because I'm going to show you how I track this. This is something I did this morning. Playing with Pixel Labs materials. I did this one last night as a test. It took me 30 minutes to set this track up and I was done, and I send this to the render network. Again, you got free render credits down below if you didn't know. 300. I sent this to the render network and rendered it out on there. Links down in the description. Pixel Lab materials, links down in the description. And I did this one this morning. All right, so I want to do this track again. I want to practice. Now, let's see here. Let me quickly jump onto my phone to make sure the stream is actually working, because it probably won't be working. Oh no, I see the live icon. We're live. All right. Okay, so we're back. All right, good. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to load in my video, right? So I can show you, because the video was shot vertical. It was a vertical video from my phone, but when you bring vertical video into Blender, it still puts it at horizontal. This is how you fix that. You go to add, please don't crash, please don't crash. And then we're going to add in the video. Okay. And here was my original video. Okay, boom, we're good. All right. This is what I do to flip it. I go down here, go to my last frame. So it's how many frames? 188 frames, 188. Then I take this, I go 1080 by 1920. Okay, and then it's 30 FPS. Make sure you match your frame rate. It's important, guys. Whatever you shot that footage at, make sure you match your frame rate. I shot it at 30 FPS, okay, because it's going to screw you in the end, at the very end of the project. Now, since we had it at by 1080 and we changed the dimensions, all you have to do is press R90. Boom. That's it. It's all ready to go. And then you go ahead now, see, you need to make sure you set this to impact video. And then your color management, if you're using Octane, which you should be, if you're using Octane, you need to make sure your output is video, and then go all the way down to your render settings and make sure your color management is set to standard none, right? Standard none. So it's just sending out Rec 709 video. And then go ahead and export that. I'm not going to do it because I already did that, okay? Now we got our video re-rendered. And what I actually do is I don't do the video. I actually render out EXR frames. But in this case, I'm just doing the video to keep it simple for you guys, okay? Now, we're going to go to and I go to new file. I don't use the same file. I go to a new file. And then I'm going to go to my VFX tab. Now, we're going to load in that video we just rendered. Okay, I'm going to come in here, track. And the one I just rendered, you'll see it'll be like this. This is the one I rendered from Blender. And there it is, plate. I want that. I'm going to go ahead and hit open file. Good, it didn't crash. So here is my video. This is what we want to track. This was the original video. Now what I'm going to do is go set scene frames, prefetch, so it puts it in the Blender's memory. Okay, good. Stream is working. Nice. If you guys are in the house, give me a thumbs up so I can know that somebody's there. And even if there's not anybody there, I'm still gonna be. I'll give myself a thumbs up, even if there's nobody. If nobody's there, I give myself a hello. Yeah, hello. So, oh, there's one person there. Okay, cool. I know that. Now, this is what we're gonna track on, right? And let me change. Now that I'm in my setup scene, I need to change my color space so I can see this properly. From raw to standard. Now it looks like normal, okay? And what I want to do is I want to track this. And I see in the movement here, I'm holding the object and I'm holding my phone. So there is a little bit of parallax. So we're not going to do a tripod planar track. We're going to do we want to do a full 3D camera track, okay? So I'm going to go to the first frame. And what I'm going to do is go up here to tracking settings. I'm going to go to blurry footage, even though it's not, but this is just something I do, a preference. I'm going to go from location on the motion model. I'm going to go to affine, and then we're going to click normal. All right, and then what I want to do is I'm going to move these guys up. For now, we don't need those. What I'm going to do from here is I'm going to add in a adaptation. And I'm going to go draw. And I'm going to draw where I want my tracker marker. I want my tracker markers to be right inside here. I don't want to track anything on the outside just to keep things isolated, okay? And then I'm going to go to track, and we're going to add in some trackers. We're going to go detect features, scroll this open, and I want more. I want more tracks. I want more tracks. I'm going to hold down shift and drag this until it adds more tracks in. Like that. That looks good. And then I want the distance to be a little bit closer. I want more tracks. There we go. That's something I like. Now I'm going to go to placement, inside adaptation. Boom. There it is. Okay, that's what I want. Everything is set good. Let's go ahead and track forward. We're going to track forward. Boom. Okay, I like that. I'm going to click off. I'm going to repeat that. My adaptation is a little bit off, so what I'm going to do is go here, go to draw, erase, and I'm going to go ahead and erase what we've just did. Okay, and then I'm going to go to draw, and I'm going to draw a new one around the box because that's where I want all my tracker markers to be in this situation here, like that. And then I'm going to go to track, again, detect features, and it recognized all the settings, and that looks good. We're going to track backwards. Boom. Done. Okay, now we're going to scroll this up, and we're going to go ahead and zoom out. And now what we're going to do is do a little bit of housekeeping. There's some tracks in here that we can see the major pattern of this track. Like we can see this where it's happening. And then you can see we got these ones that are like way out here. We got these rogue tracks that are just doing weird stuff. Delete them, okay? This guy, he's out of here. Delete it. We've got another guy that's doing a straight line. Delete it. This guy, delete it. This guy, delete it. Delete it. Delete it. Anything that doesn't look like it's hanging out with the rest of the crew, delete them. Okay, delete it. And this guy, delete it. Boom, I'm done. That's what we did. We just cleaned up our track a little bit. Okay, so that's it. Now let's go ahead and do our solve. I'm going to click over to the solve tab. I want focal length, optical center, radial distortion. I want all of that. Now this keyframe section here, I used to set it on auto, but it gives me weird results. So recently I've just been figuring it out. I've been watching Inlight's video tutorial, his course on VFX tracking. What we want to look for is the most parallax in the shot. This keyframe A to 1 means from this frame to this frame has the most parallax. Again, parallax is when you get those points that are kind of shifting like this, right? We want to find that. So what I do, I just look for anywhere where like where these lines are really stretched out, like kind of here and a little bit of maybe like here to here. Like I like that, here to here. Or like it's kind of twisting, right? So I'm gonna say frame. I'm gonna go frame 136 to about 173. We'll just give it a good range, 173. Okay. Now, moment of truth. Let's save our file just in case it crashes, because Blender loves to do that, right? And I'm gonna go camera track, and I'm gonna go down here, and I'm gonna go underscore YT stream. Can't spell stream, but who cares? All right, boom. Now, let's go ahead and hit the magic button. Solve camera. All right, boom, it's done. 1.39. That's good right off the bat. Now, like, you want this number to be below 0.9 to get a good solve. 0.9 is what the manual recommends. I go down to maybe 0.3 or 0.2 to really make sure. My last track that I did and that showed you, that was a 0.4. That was like a 0.4, right? So now we need to clean up our tracks. The whole objective of cleaning up this track is to get this blue line as straight as possible. See this blue line here? See that blue line? We want to get that to be straight as possible. In ultimate reality, it will be 0.001, but I don't think we can achieve that, right? So what we do now is we're going to go to the cleanup tab. And I need to bring these window back down because we need to see this. And a little bit of housekeeping here, like that. Okay. Now, here's all of our tracks and their error. We got one here has an error of 16.5. I mean, that's high. That's high. We got 8, 7, 6, 5s, but 4s. We got a lot of 1s and a lot of 0s. Okay, those are the good ones. These high number ones are the ones we don't want. We need to clean them out. Easy way to do it, go to cleanup, say select, delete track. I'm going to start because I know there's a 16. I'm going to say anything over 10, I want you to delete it. Collect that, and then I'm going to say clean track. It deleted it. Now I'm going to go resolve. That number should get lower. It got higher. Great. Anyways, let's continue on. I'm going to do it again. Anything over 10, clean track. And solve motion. It got higher again. Now this is telling me it's not improving. It should be improving the number, but it's not. So what I'm going to do quickly before I start getting too deep without taking away tracks, I'm going to shift this number here again. This number might be too much. So what I'm going to do is narrow it down. I'm going to go to like maybe, let's say 147 to 165. Let's try that. And let's go resolve. Ooh, that got worse. Resolve again. That got even worse. Okay. So I know it doesn't like that. Now what I'm going to do, it already didn't do this on my first time, but whatever. This is just how it is. I'm going to actually go to keyframe. I'm going to see what Blender wants. This is going to Blender's automatically going to try to select it. So let's see what Blender wants. And let's hit solve again. Thinking. I probably should have saved it when we were at 0.1. Yeah, it's already taking too long, so I don't think we're going to get a good result. Oh, boom. Okay, we got an error of 0.1.1. Okay, I like that. So what I want to do is uncheck it, because if you leave it checked, every time you hit the solve button, it's going to recalculate that. I don't want it to do that. I want to lock that in. Okay, boom. Let's leave it at 121 to 176. Okay, now let's go back and see what we got. We still got some high 8s. We got an 8. So I'm going to say anything that's over an 8. Actually, I'm just going to go anything that's over, let's go everything over an 8, clean track, and solve. Dang it, dude. What the heck? Now it got even worse. Okay, let's just keep going. Let's just keep going, man. This sucks. It wasn't, yesterday it went so smooth. I knew this was going to happen, right? As soon as I start tracking it, like going live. But this is what we're going to do in real time so you guys can see, man. That's just going to kill my time. But let's find another area. I'm going to say the 159. Let's try 158. Let's just try 158. Resolve. Okay, 0.95. Boom. That's actually technically we're done. We should walk away, but I'm not. I'm just going to save it. I'm gonna save it. I'm not scared. Like I will fight with this tracker until I get what I want. Now I'm gonna go back to cleaning again. I saved the version, so I know I can revert back to this version. So we got some high 6s. I'm gonna come in here and say, okay, anything that's let's just do it smaller steps. I'm gonna go 7. Delete tracks. Okay, nothing deleted. I'm gonna go to 6. Actually, we're gonna go 6.5. Make it even smaller. Clean tracks. Okay, I saw some got deleted. Let's resolve. Okay, now the number stayed 0.94. That's a good sign. Let's go ahead and go to 6. Delete track. Okay, resolve. Boom. 7.8. Now we're on the right track. This is what it happens. Like now it's getting lower and it's not getting big drastic numbers. If it's like if you get these big jumps in numbers, it's not right. You got to kind of find out this kind of zone for the AB, basically what I'm doing here. All right, let's go lower. Anything that's a 5, delete, clean track, solve. Okay, 6-9, it jumped back up. Let me hit the solve button one more time. 6-9, jump back. Okay, undo, undo. I'm gonna undo to there. I'm gonna save right here. I'm at 0.7. So I'm gonna go. On this case, we're gonna say anything that's a 4.5, clean track, resolve. Nope, it jumps up to a 3 again. Dang it, dude. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna back up. Let me try to break it. Let's go to 10. Anything that's over 10, clean track, solve. 3.4. Okay, anything that's over 7, I can revert back to that other version at any time. 3.59. Yeah, it's not doing what I want it to do. 5, clean track. 2.35. Okay, it's getting lower. Let's just keep going. Anything that's 3 and above, clean track and solve. 1.75. Okay, it's getting lower. Anything that's a 2, clean track, solve. I mean, we're taking away too many tracks now. It's taking away too many track markers. That's not a good sign. 1, clean tracks. Yeah, that's definitely not going to work. Okay, so I'm going to go back to revert to my last save version, 7.178 here. I'm going to take this. I'm just going to take this value here. Okay, I'm going to run with this. So 0.78. There are ways I can still tweak on it if I want it to get lower. Let me just quickly show you. So for example, if I come and click on this top here, this track here says it's a 4.69. If I really wanted to dial that in, where is that 4.69? Yeah, that 4.69 is not even really a good track. Like, I don't like that. Let me just see if I can delete that one track. And let's go ahead and resolve. No, it's still going to get all weird. It's still going to get all wonky. Okay, well, we'll just leave it. But literally, I can start to take down the value of these tracks. Like, okay, still, I don't want this. Hang on. Deselect this one. If I come over here to tracker marker and see, this is horrible. So I don't want this to be, right now, 100% of its weight is being evaluated into this number. I can go down here and maybe say, like, only do 0.8. And let's see if that changes it. Nope, it still does the 3.5. So, yeah, something's going on again. And I know it's going to be these motion numbers up here again. I probably need to dial these down in a little bit more. So I got 15 more minutes. But what I want to do is go with this because I want you guys to see how I'm going to set this up. Yeah, I want you guys to, oh, see, this one here on my finger doesn't even need to be there. Come on, please let me convert that without that. No, 3. Why does it do that, man? Okay, and I want to fight with this thing for a moment here. Because I got a great track out of this last night. I wish I would have paid attention to what range I used on my other track. What was the range on the keyframes. So I'm going to let Blender do it again. Let Blender choose it. And we'll see what we get. But this, you know, a lot of people are like, just do it in After Effects. It's so much easier. Yeah, but I'm not paying for After Effects. And 2, like, when the After Effects doesn't work, then what are you going to do? Like, I can fight with this and force it to see to get it to do what I want it to do. And I've done tracking in here before, and I've watched people do tracking in here before and get good results without having to rely on After Effects. So let's go 130 to 170. I'm gonna go 177. I can revert back to that 7.9. There's that 3.4 again. That 3.4. Let's make it even smaller. Smaller window, 153. Nope, it still brings back the 3.4. Still bringing back that 3.4. Okay, so quickly here, let's try a different range. Let's go 153 to 128. Three, 4. Okay, and then let me see if I go minus anything that's over 6. Delete tracks, solve. 3, 4 again, yeah, so nope, I'm just gonna revert it. Sometimes having too many tracks can be an opposite, but I'm running out of time, so I don't have time to. Sometimes less tracks is better. I might have too many tracks compared to my last time. So sometimes you gotta kind of play with it. Like if I had time, I would just wipe these all off and redo it again, start over with less trackers. But in this case, I don't have enough time, so I want to keep this on point. So we got our 7.8. Let's just take this, and what we're gonna do now is set up the camera. Okay. So we like what we got. What we want to do is, instead of hitting this, I normally would always just come hit build a tracking scene and set up background. I'm not going to do that because it adds a whole bunch of stuff that I don't need. Okay, I'm going to jump into my camera here, and I'm going to add a camera. And I'm just going to go over here to camera, add a camera just like this. And then what I'm going to do is come over here to my constraints, and then I'm going to go to camera solve. And then if you look, there it is. That's our tracking data. It's on the camera. Okay, boom. Now what we need to do is come over here to our outputs, which we should have set up before, 1080 by 1920, okay, and then 30 FPS. Boom. Now if we jump into our camera, we don't see anything. Let's go ahead and turn on our tracker markers, and let's go ahead and make those a little bit smaller, like that. Okay, there it is. But everything is wonky, right? So what we need to do, since it's vertical video, we need to come over here to this camera section and take it from auto to horizontal, and that will make things less erratic. Okay, there we go. It's getting a little bit better. Now what we need to do is set up our, let me go ahead and zoom in there, and this window here we don't need, we can close that. We need to set up our background so we can see what's going on. So if I come over here, set background, now it adds our background in there. Okay, we can see that. That's good. And then what I want to do is jump back into the camera, go to camera data over here, and you want to go to background, right there, background, scroll that down. I want to go 100%. I want to view undistorted. Yep, that's all good. All right, so there we go. There's our tracker markers, and that's looking cool. But now we need to match move. We need to match the camera to the movement. And the easiest way that I found how to do this is, okay, let's do this. Now, I need to go to set our points for our floor. Okay, in this case, this will be our floor plane. We need 3 points. You want to get them as far as wide as possible to give the best data. So I'm gonna go bottom, and then I'm gonna come up here to the top. I'm gonna click on this one. I'm gonna say set as floor, and then I want to set one here in the middle. I'm gonna say set this one here as the origin point. Okay, and then I'm gonna say set this one as my X point. So that's X, or I can actually, let me flip that. There we go, X. Okay. Now if we jump back into our viewport and let's look at it. Okay, now things are looking a little bit better. And then what I even do is, let me hide Dennis because he's confusing me because we're not working at that horizon level. Hide him. And then I come over here to my graph. Let's make my graph a little bit smaller. Actually, hang on. I'm not going to do that just yet because I got to put in the size. This helps you get the whole world into dimension, right? I'm going to go over to motion tracking. And I've already measured. These right here were 3 inches. From this point to this point was 3 inches. From 1, okay, 2. I took a little tape measure and measured it. And 3 inches, remember, when you're working in this, it works in meters. Okay, so we need to convert that. 3 inches. I'm going to go to 3 inches. Okay, 7.62, 0.762. I'm going to come in here, 0.0762, and hit scale. Boom. Okay, this works in meters. Always remember that. No matter, even if you have your world change, or it doesn't matter. This is always meters, so to convert it. All right, boom. Now let's go back to our layout. And now we look, okay, that's looking tight, right? But don't build it off of these 2 lines. We need more lines to help us set it up. Come into your grid and you scale this grid down. Scale it down. There you go. Scale this down. Boom. Okay. Now we're going to use this grid to line up to our scene here. Okay. It's a little bit off. It's a little bit off. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is make sure you select the camera. Always select the camera. And then we're going to go to move from transpivot 3D cursor. Now I can move rotation with the camera selected. I'm going to go rotate Z And now I can get this thing to line up how I want it. So I'm gonna line it up to I'm lining it up to like the lines of this box here, kind of like this print here, and rotate on the Y, kind of getting this thing in there a little bit, and then it looks maybe rotate on the Z. Kind of and then what I like to do is like I want a line to line up here, so I'll just come in here and readjust this size so I can get this. Don't crash. So I can get this line to maybe be like, okay, here's a line. See this line right here? I got that line to line up there. And then maybe we need one on the side to get one. Okay, well, this is on the side of the box. It's a little bit easy, but the box could be bent a little bit. So I like to use the print. So let's go. This bottom one looks pretty solid. Oh, I'm a little bit off there. Hang on. And again, this is a 0.7 on the track, guys. So 0.7 means it's going to be slipping a little bit. When you get down to 0.3 or 4, it gets really tight, okay? And again, we didn't have time to really get it tight, but I just want to show you how to set up the camera. All right, you kind of just got to go in here and kind of find out where it's at. Rotate. Make sure you got the camera selected always, and make sure you got that 3D pivot, okay? Now let's say maybe rotate on the X a little bit. Rotate Z. You just got to go back and forth here, like yin-yanging it to get this to line up. And the more time you spend on this, the tighter your track's going to be. Okay, that looks pretty tight for me. Now, I still see a little bit of slipping. So what I do is I come over here to my camera, to my focal, and then I hold down Shift, and I'll kind of drag it either up or down and see if it gets tighter. Like, okay, there's less movement there. Now I'm going to hold down Shift, and I'm going to go up. I'm going to keep going up, up. I'm going to keep going up. And now let me see. That's looking a little bit tighter. Let's keep going up. Let me keep going up. Okay, that's even more tighter. There's still a little bit of play down here on the bottom right here. Right about right there, it's a little bit off. Let me go rotate Z again. How about now? Oh, that was way off. Hang on. Let me see if I can zoom this up. Let's play with the zoom again. There will be a certain point where you get too far and you'll start to see it not matching. So let me go back down. Let me go down this time. I started at 50. Let's go down. 45. No, that's not even close. It looks like around 60 was looking really nice. Let me go 65. Let me keep going up a little bit. 60. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Let me go 65. Okay, I'm thinking I'm liking that. Now let me just really tighten it down here for a second. Let me tighten it down for a second here. I'm going to hold down X. I'm going to rotate on the Z one more time. Like there. I'm going to rotate on the Y. Is the Y? How's that looking? Y is looking good. Okay. So, I mean, that's fairly close, guys. There's a little bit of a jitter. There's still a little bit of a jitter. And what I like to do here, let me add something in here. So, for example, I'm going to try to add the box how I did the box. I literally added a plane. And what I'll do is now I'm going to turn off my pivot point. Now, the most important thing is don't move your camera again. If you move your camera again, you're going to lose everything. And anytime you move your camera, you want to make sure you have that pivot point on the 3D and your selected camera. But now I'm moving this object, so I set it back. I'm going to go here, and I'm just going to go scale this. I'm going to go GX. Scale this to like right there. And then I'm going to jump into edit mode. I'm going to grab the edge. I'm going to grab this edge and go GX like that. I'm going to grab this bottom X edge and go GY. Drag this down to like there. Then I'm going to grab this, go GY. And then I'm going to grab this up to there. Then I'm going to select the whole thing, scale it down just a tad bit so we get this red area, kind of like that. And then we're just kind of like, I'm doing this quickly, guys. The more time you take on this, the better your track results going to come out, right? I'm just doing this quickly. I'm already over the time like I'm supposed to be getting ready to eat lunch here in 5 minutes. All right, so if I hit play, now there will be some parts where you see it's slipping a little bit. It's not that tight, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to burn through this really quickly. But okay, it's looking there. Now what I did to get the box to go inside, let me check my normals first. I'm going to turn on, where is it? Q, turn on face orientation. And then what I do, I click the tab, face on this. And then I'm going to go ahead and not extrude, I'm going to indent like this a little bit. Oh, hang on, undo. We need to apply our scale first. Oh no, why did you do that? Why don't apply your scale then. What we're just gonna do is do this. I'm gonna go back into face mode, and I'm gonna go inset. I'm gonna inset a little bit, and then I'm gonna go extrude. I'm gonna extrude back for the back of the box like that. That's cool. And then I'm gonna come back here and select this edge. I'm gonna go to the edge mode, select select the edge, and then I'm gonna go extrude S, and then we're gonna extrude this up like this. Okay, and then I'm gonna tab, while I'm at it, tab out and turn off my thing here, face orientation, and there it is. There's the box. Okay, but we don't see nothing. So if I go to render mode, anytime you're working in render mode, I'm gonna go back to my color space because I had changed it. I'm gonna go back to none because I'm gonna be seeing the render. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and right click on this shade auto smooth, and then what I'm gonna do, also make sure this won't work, guys. You have to do this. Come down here to your opacity, go to your render settings, and right here you'll see alpha channel. Boom, now we can see the background. Okay, but we can't see the background just yet because I blocked it with this whole there. I mean, there's the background right there, you see, but I'm blocking it with this holdout thing. So what we're gonna do with this piece here, I'm going to select back into it, go to faces. I want to select these outer faces first. These outer faces right here, okay? And make sure they're flat. Yeah, I want to select these. And this part here, I only want to see the footage, the video. So the way we do that, there's a couple of ways you can do it, but this is the easiest way I did it. Go to your materials, add a new material on it, and I'm going to call it, I'm just going to call it null material. And right? And then on this material, let's go into our shader editor. What you're going to do is go down here. Let's go back to our camera view so we can see what's happening, and turn on the render. If you scroll down here on the bottom, there's this thing called shadow catcher. Boom, just turn that on. Okay, now if I tab out of that, now we don't see that part, right? But it's on the whole thing, so that's why we're not seeing the inner box. So now I'm going to press Control Shift I, inset, or invert, and then I'm gonna go here and add a new material, assign it a material, and then tab out so you can see what's going on. And while we're in this view, let's go ahead and make those tracker markers a lot smaller. Okay, now you can see there's our little box. Okay, and again, our track is not super tight, that's why we're seeing these edges. But the way I get around that too is also when you go into your edit mode, you can grab those edges and pull them away a little bit. But for now, this is just a quickie, and that's pretty much how I got that box to do the box. And then what you do is you add your materials, add what you want to do inside of it. So for example, what did I do? I'm just gonna add the Suzanne head in there for now. She's really huge. We'll just go ahead and scale it down, right? Scale it down, rotate it on the X minus. And then we can scale it up. Let's give it a little bit of subdivision on her, shader smooth. And then I'm gonna go GZ, put it in the box, right? And it's like it's protruding through. Yep, it's protruding through. Go ahead and turn the render off for that. Just placing this where we need to place it. GY, GX. Do whatever you want to do once you got it set up. Now you can put like some animation inside there or something really cool. For now, I'm just gonna do that. And then boom. Turn this back on, jump into there, and there it is, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump a material on the inside there. Let's go back on this front box here. Let's go to layout really quickly, and I'm just going to go and grab one of these handy dandy materials from Pixel Lab. Links down below. They have a free pack of 12 materials you can check out. Matter of fact, I'll use the free materials right now so you can see what they get inside. Let me go to Pixel Lab Sampler. And then I'm going to go here. And what I'm going to use is we'll go ahead and throw the, I'm going to throw on the BMW for the blue background. And I'm going to throw that onto material. There it is. And then for Suzanne, what should we give her? Let's give her the golden, whatever, the golden pattern. Throw that on her. Boom. Okay. Jump in it, and there it is, right? Look at that. Look at that. I'm not even tweaking the materials. We don't have time. So what I also did was I added a piece of glass on the front of here. And the way I did that was I jumped back into edge mode. Oh, not on Suzanne. On the box. Let's jump out. Click on the box. I went to edge mode. Please don't crash. Thank you. I hold down Alt. Grab the box. Shift duplicate. Drag away. P by selection. Tab back into it. Grab that edge. Nope, that's not it. Yep, that's it. Tab into edit. Select faces. Select all. Press F. Fill it. Boom. There it is. Now that's my glass. And then what I also do, anytime you do glass, especially in Octane, add a solidify. Boom. Okay, and it's going the opposite direction. So I'm just going to go hold down shift and pull it in the negative direction. Just want it to be thin. That's nothing too crazy. Right? Something like that. And then, do we have any glass in the free one? We have diamond. Okay. I don't want to use diamond because it's not diamond. What is this one here? Shattered glass. Interesting. I'm just going to jump into the pack number 1 because they have a really cool glass in here that I like. And it's actually in the architectural pack, which I'm going to be doing a review on this week. It's almost finished. In the architectural pack, which is becoming one of my favorites, in there they got glass. They got smudge glass. I'm going to drag that onto there. Okay. And now if we look and see what we got here quickly. Boom. We got some glass on there too. Now what I'm going to do, you really should start tweaking your materials to really get them to pop. And there's one thing about the glass material, it's got some nice smudges on here that are already kind of built in. And you won't see those at the moment because all of this stuff needs to be unwrapped. Like, it's just dirty, crude geometry, right? So I'm going to select all U, and I'm just going to go Q projection. All right, and then boom. Now you can see all of our smudges on there, okay? Let's unhide that. And I probably should do that on the other ones, right? Jump back, tab out of the object, okay. And if I grab the BMW, grab this box actually, let's go ahead and grab this box here. Tab back into faces mode and grab this, grab this, grab this, grab this, and grab this, and go U, UnVQ projection, tab out of that, jump back into here, and go to render. Boom, and there it is. Okay, now what I would do as far as also, let me go ahead and play it a little bit so we can see. Oh, we're getting the, because of the HDRI, so the HDRI I'm using, we're getting the reflections of the HDRI in there. That's nice, right? That's really nice. I'm going to change that lighting up a little bit to something more how it was in my room. So I'm going to come over here to Object, go to World, go ahead and change this HDRI, Open, and HDRIs, Indoors. We'll go more to Art Room here. And again, the way that your lighting is going to, it should match your environment, right? I didn't shoot an HDRI for this in this environment for me, but I did use a light that represented the light that was in my room, and it was just kind of like a world light that was off to the side, to the right a little bit. And let's see what this is doing here. Yeah, this is completely opposite of the actual light in the video. Actually, a little bit more. Yeah, this is not a good HDRI to do it. Matter of fact, I'll just kill it and show you guys how I did it the original way. Because 0. And then what I did was I mimicked. So this is the camera position, and I was holding the camera down like here, and I know there was a light up above me. Like I was holding my, where's my hand? I was holding my hand, and the camera was kind of like over here. So what I'm going to do is just mimic that, what I had in my room. And I come over here, and I'm just going to go to light, area light, and GZ it up. And this is too massive. I got to work in real world scale. It was more like the light was about that size. I measured it how big it was, and I forgot how many was it, 37 inches, about something like that, whatever. And what I'm gonna do is, it was a circle light, a disc light like this. I'm gonna change it to this, and it was kind of off to the side over here a little bit. And again, I'm just gonna rotate on the Y, something like that, and that's looking cool. And then whenever I use lights to get real world, I don't use this. I use a black body emission, because I know these lights are 5600 daylight bulbs, or daylight LED. So 55. Then we'll go 56, 56, and give me a little bit more power. 150, and jump back in. And then boom, you even got the light reflecting off of that there, right? Which is cool. And again, let me GX that off a little bit more to the side. It wasn't that much into it. We just wanted to catch it a little bit so we can catch those highlights and those reflections on there. Let's bring it back just a little bit. GX. I wanted to catch just a little bit of that light there, just so we can. There it goes a little bit. Okay. So my render settings from here. My render settings. These are my render settings that I use. My stock file. This file you can download at Gumroad for free, and it has my whole setup in here, right? So for this, where is it at? For the other one that I did, the glass one, let me quickly show you. The glass one, guys, I had to crank that sucker up to 5,000 samples. Okay, for this glass one here, I was using 5,000 samples. But I sent this one to the render network because it was taking almost 3 minutes a frame to render, right? I sent this one to over to the render network. Again, you got free render credits, 300 free render credits you can try on the render network down below in the description. So that one was using the ice material from Pixel Lab. Again, links down below. And this one here, I just used the stock render settings I'm about to show you. I mean, this one's my favorite. This one came out really nice. Like, you can see how the light there is just clipping and lighting up those highlights. Absolutely looks great, right? So these were the settings I used for the pink one. 500, 250 was, that's just my preview. But I used depth was 8, specular was 12, scattering was 8, and then everything else I left stock. 4, 001, 120. My GI clamp, most important, set that to 10. And then I turned on adaptive sampling. And make sure you have your alpha channel checked, otherwise you won't get the alpha background there. It will just look like that. So make sure you have alpha channel checked so your background is gone, right? Then I have my adaptive sampling turned on. Make sure that is turned on, and I was running at 0.2, 512 by 2x2. Actually, I probably should set that to 4x4. I'll give a little bit more inference. But still, my adaptive sampling doesn't even kick in until 512 samples. So I literally can probably cut that down to half. So now, after 256 samples, the adaptive sampling will kick in. That'll help get out a faster render. And make sure motion blur is checked. But make sure you click on your cube and you go into your settings and make sure motion blur is checked here. Otherwise, it won't work. And the same with Suzanne. Make sure we tick on motion blur there. Now everything has motion blur. Everything's going to have motion blur when we render it out. Okay? Now, let's just go ahead and render out one frame so we can see what that looks like. Ooh, I'm 10 minutes over, guys, but that's okay. I'll just grab something from the store on the way to work. So we got anybody in the house, or am I streaming to myself? Either or, it doesn't matter because I'll continue to stream. All right. So boom, that's done on my 4080 Supra. It took 18 seconds to crank out that frame, and this is what we got, guys. Okay. That's what we got. I would say, right, when I look at this is not the denoise version. So let me go to the denoise version and see what that looks like. Go down to here, go to denoise. It's a little bit blurry, so what I would want to do is probably give it a little bit more samples. I probably would give it 800 to be exact, and then probably use the denoise version. Now, you see this weird edging on here? Don't panic. The only reason why that edge is there is because this is not a pre-multiplied alpha. This is how they work in the studios. This is the professional workflow. They don't multiply their alpha yet. they take this into DaVinci Resolve or Nuke, and they do color grading, they do all that stuff, and in Nuke or in DaVinci, then they pre-multiply or multiply their alpha back. If you don't want this, you can set you have to export out EXRs, or matter of fact, if you don't do that, you need to set up PNGs, but you still have to you'll have to use Octane's exporter. And the way you do that, come over here, and then see right here, this is my Octane exporter. Put my file where I want it to save, and then what I'll do is you'll go down to PNGs. I'll change that to EXRs for my case. But see here, pre-multiplied alpha. If I go back and set that to, will it change if I set it to PNG? Yeah, it does change to PNG. Interesting. But yeah, the way I get around that is right here, pre-multiply alpha. I'll just go ahead and check that right there. But most of the time, I do the multiplication inside of DaVinci Resolve. So, but export out your PNGs if you want. You can use Blender's standard exporter. Just export out your PNGs and it won't be like that. But I have mine set up differently. That's why you see that weird edge there on the pixelated edges right there. So, all right, guys, that's just a quick crash course on how we did this. How I did this tracking. Again, like I'll do another one. I'm gonna be all month. I'm going to be just practicing. Where's the video? Where's the video? I want that to play. Okay. All month, I'm going to be practicing VFX shots. So, I spent a lot more time trying to get this one to dial in. And I'm happy with the results. It came out good. But a small pat on the shoulder and on to the next project, right? And this one, I did a little bit more post-processing. Yeah, I'm using Octane's glare and its bloom on the lights there. And then again, like I said, I blurred the image just a little bit inside of diffusion because the image is not, the video is not super sharp. So just to kind of make it sit in there more a little bit. So, all right, guys, gotta go to work. Hope you guys enjoy. Quick little VFX, how to do tracking inside of Blender. And yeah, if you got any questions, go ahead and leave them down there. Catch you next one. Peace. You will not be able to reconnect.